up, true believers?
My lord, I have been muted this whole time. Oh my gosh. Well, it's a rough day back. Thank you, my cheese bro, for the note there. I was unaware. I was unaware. Um, I normally I do in StreamYard, but I also have access to this program called Ecamm, which is a really nice program. You can see how the comments look really clean and nice. But but I don't use it all the time, so I kind of was. Anyway, it's been rough. So let me start this show over again one more time. What is up, true believers? It's Mason here with Comics and Crosses, where we discuss the eternal truths behind our modern mythology. And today is Friday, April 8th. Is Chris? Oh, snap. What's up, dude? I have never heard of my cheese, bro. But but yeah, right on, right on. Um, yeah, so today is Friday. I think I'll have to edit this and chop off the front because I was without audio. So thanks for the tip there, Chris. Yeah, but I am back. I was explaining in pantomime a moment ago that life has been a little busy. I was out of town for work for about a week, and we got a new puppy. Her name's Penny. She is a Havanese poodle mix, one of those designer dogs, super cute. So she's been fun to have around the house. But stuff's been going on. My dad came into town from California, and so all kinds of stuff. But there's been shakeups at work, man. It's been crazy. It's been crazy. Sometimes in life, this is just personal related. This isn't comic related necessarily, but sometimes in life, life throws a lot of curveballs at you, and it's kind of, you get these times where you kind of have to go back to the core of who you are, and maybe maybe if you haven't prayed in a long time, you're like, oh God, please help steer me through steer me through life right now. And that's okay. It's kind of good to be reminded of that not everything's meant to be a cakewalk every now and then. But even so, I am happy. I am blessed. I love my family. Love where I'm at. Love that I get to do this and talk about comics. And lately I have been like behind on my books. I did go this Wednesday to get my comics. And of the things that I'm most excited about from this Wednesday, which I haven't even read yet, but is definitely Nottingham. Was excited for Nottingham to come back. This is a really fun series from Mad Cave that is just a retelling of Robin Hood, and but very sharp, very violent, very exciting. And then the other one is from AWA Upshot, The Joneses, another 5-part series from AWA. I really want something that they create. I mean, I guess I would love to see them do an ongoing. I'd really love to see something, get traction and them to really get behind, some of their characters to do an ongoing story. But, maybe this makes the quality better. It's like, there's movies that come out and there's TV shows, which TV shows have really upped their quality in the last, 10, 15 years. But anyway, the Joneses from AWA Upshot is like a Fantastic Four of the Reborn Resistance verse from AWA Upshot. And if you don't know about that, I'm gonna make I'm catching up in Telepaths and Moss and stuff, and I want to make a video, especially with this Joneses coming out, about the AWA Upshot Resistance verse, kind of up to now, so people can really hear about it and learn about it, and maybe jump in if they don't want to catch all the way up. I mean, it's great to go read the books, but it's just cool. It's a whole new world to play in, and I think that Straczynski, J. Michael Straczynski, he has architect a lot of this with the Resistance and the Resistance Uprising, I think, was the next series. I actually really liked the one shot in between, the Reborns. That was really cool stories in there. But it's a whole new universe. So, and it's kind of fun, if you can get in on the ground level of that and follow the world and the different rules and the way things are working out. And they got some variety of styles too. They got kind of like a sort of comedic Batman type character. I mean, it's pretty violent, pretty brutal. But with Knighted from AWA Upshot, you get a Batman type character. Now with the Joneses, they got kind of like a Fantastic Four family of powered people, and but it's different. It has a different feel. It's a little more grounded, and just kind of fun to see the way in which they go about it. Um, there's also, just kind of, there's telepaths, there's different things going on in the AWA verse. So cool stuff to check out. I was really excited about that. And then one of the series that I love is Firepower, which is Kirkman. I mean, has written some classics such as Invincible, The Walking Dead, and look at this cover. It's just cool. I mean, just cool artwork. Really just a cool world that he's built. I didn't get that. Could you try again? Nobody's talking to you, Siri. Anyway. So, so Firepower, another one I was excited about. But here's some things I've read recently. And I'm just going to talk about some comic books. Maybe it'll be interesting. Maybe you've read some of these recently. So I believe this was the most recent Philadelphia, number 20. I think 21's coming out. So Philadelphia, I've talked about before here on my show. A really cool series that really grows on you as it goes. About vampires. Now there's kind of werewolves being introduced. Well, actually, they were introduced in a backstory throughout the series, and it really Philadelphia from Rodney Barnes, and then I believe that Jason Alexander has been the artist throughout. Yeah, because it's a very distinct style. So it's their thing that they've created this whole world of vampires and historical figures. Like literally John Adams, the second president, and Thomas Jefferson, I think, and then George Washington. It's and it sounds kind of crazy. It's like, why would all these presidents? But the way it's done is very well done, and ultimately it's a story about power and about trying to control people. It's interesting, and it pulls on probably every component of that you could pull on issues of race and society, issues politics, religion. It really is. I mean, when I read it, I'm like, wow, they're really going everywhere with this. But it's not, up until this last issue, I felt like it was not preachy or overdone. But issue 20, honestly, and I've heard a lot of sermons in my day, it was very preachy for me. It was just going on about class and all these different things. And something that I think is a little weird sometimes is when writers try to insert a character like back in time or in a situation and make them kind of have the virtues of today, which sometimes can be inspiring, but sometimes can feel just off, like it doesn't fit. Like, I mean, some of the movies that had a major impact on me really emphasized the racism of the time. Like, say, what was it, Glory with Denzel Washington and the Union fighters in the Civil War, the black group of Union fighters. I mean, different things like that, that really were not, that showed just how bad and how different it was. I mean, those things really stick with you and really, make you feel the reality of history and of wrong thinking and of wrong people with wrong ideology and wrong heart issues on the issues of race and different things like that. And so sometimes when characters are, some of these historical characters, why I bring this up in Philadelphia, are sort of possessing these kind of, back when America was formed, I knew it was flawed and that it would not succeed and this and that. And it's like, I don't think you did. I really don't think you did. I don't think that back then when they formed America, they had the attitude that a lot of people have now of like, oh, this is a terrible country. It's full of injustices and all, and whether or not you believe that's true, I just don't think that at that time people were thinking like that. give it 200 and something years, people probably were in a different headspace. So sometimes that's a little much to digest. Honestly, this latest issue of Philadelphia, I felt like was so preachy, and the story moves so slow that I'm like, maybe I should jump to the trades with this, because it keeps going and it's very long, but I always say that, and then I'm always gun shy because I don't want to miss. I just love every month getting the next installment of a story, so that'd be hard to do, but I might do that for the sake of Image. Puts out $9.99 trades, and hey, that's pretty good. So for the cost of 2.5 comics, you get the whole arc. Not too bad. The other thing I read, and this one probably not a lot of people read, but from Source Point Press. So definitely a small publisher, but I started reading because the description of it sounded so interesting, was this comic In His Image. So, and this thing is this thing is disturbing. This is probably the most disturbing comic I've read in a long time. But it's very dark, very twisted. Has a kind of Westworld feel to it, in that it's like this future world where wealthy people can kind of buy these human bots that that they want to sexually torture and do all kinds of crazy stuff to, and then discard, and then one of the robots goes crazy and like kills the dude or abuses him back, and then there's this monkey, and okay, so it's crazy. Obviously the description makes it sound crazy. So, but the thing is kind of it's trying to talk about kind of human nature and people being evil towards other things that they see as less than themselves, like say a robot, which, as unfortunately for the guy who abused the robot, has AI, has artificial intelligence, and kind of thinks, I'm gonna go abuse him now. And then the monkey that's tested on and stuff, and his fellow monkeys are abused. He eventually revolts back and runs away. And I'm sorry, as I said, spoiler warning, I'm giving away a lot of this, but I don't know how many people are reading this comic. I shouldn't say that, but it's interesting to see just kind of this very bleak view of human nature and of the abuse of other creatures, of other people, and what is the result of it. There's a lot of people who maybe can abuse animals, maybe abuse other people, and never get caught, never get brought to justice. Now, I ultimately believe that they're going to face justice in the next life. Like, I believe that, everyone's going to have to give an account for the wrong that they've done. And, and the right. But, that's not my place. That's not our place to really judge them. Hopefully our laws are in place to protect people. But whether or not they get away with it now, there's a reckoning. Speaking of reckoning, reading Fantastic Four, Fantastic Four Reckoning War, which is kind of a cool premise, but something that I feel like Fantastic Four is dealing with right now, or maybe just always, is they have the wildest stories. Issue 42 came out this week. They have just the wildest, most creative, imaginative stories. But I feel like there's little to no consequence. I guess the Human Torch has been dealing with a situation of his own making, where he's kind of overpowered and stuck in this flame on mode, like supernova flame on mode. But there's all these kind of big, crazy, like sci-fi things happening. And I know Human Torch has died before. Reed has probably died before. I don't know, stuff happens, but it's almost like a Doctor Who kind of thing. Like I don't really watch Doctor Who, but from what I understand of it, kind of feels like this kind of crazy. All this stuff is happening, but it just keeps going, and that's comics. But I almost want, I would love to see a more serious writer on Fantastic Four in the future because I really love the characters. I mean, I'm even like I talked about the Joneses earlier. I'm reading this AWA Fantastic Four type family. The Fantastic Four, I don't know, they're just one of those books that I just always want to read and see the crazy adventures they're going on. I mean, they're a real classic, a real cornerstone of comic books, like period, like the whole of superhero comic books. The Fantastic Four, I mean, it's like Superman, Batman, maybe Wonder Woman, the Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, maybe X-Men. I mean, those are, and the Fantastic Four, even more, I think they predate the X-Men and, really have been significant for a very long time. So, anyway, I've been collecting the Hickman run on Fantastic Four to go back and read that. And I think it'd be cool to see some real high stakes because I kind of feel like almost like it's a cartoon, right now or lately. Even though this is kind of a big event, I'm not too worried. And sometimes I kind of sit there and I think, did I need to read this? Do I need to be spending money on this? And I want to feel like yes, like I want to feel like I need to be there in the action. I need to see what's going down with the Fantastic Four, with the first family. You know, Illuminati type stuff, Reed doing crazy stuff that's affecting the universe. That would be cool. So, other thing that I'm a little late to the party on, but Immortal XMen came out last week, I think. And so it's funny because everybody's talking about the reference to Jesus Christ in Immortal XMen. And, well, I guess I should too, since I'm Comics and Crosses here. So there's a little mention of, that supposedly Jesus of Nazareth was a mutant who resurrected a few people from the dead and, has formed a whole religion. And this is, kind of talking in relation to in relation to the X-Men now resurrecting people and doing it over and over again and being able to kind of give eternal life to their mutant kind. What's up, Second Street Marvel? Thanks for joining the party. And I've always I've made a lot of comments on how the Krakoa era of X-Men has been really, has a lot of biblical symbolism, and stuff from Hickman. And has a lot of because it's like this idea of heaven on earth, Krakoa. It's like they've made paradise. They've brought everybody to the Garden of Eden and given them eternal life. And it's like, whoa, But I think what tends to happen with all of these stories of utopia is just when heaven is in the control of man and not of God. Although the X-Men see themselves as superior, as homo superior, literally, they are still flawed and limited, and so inevitably paradise will implode. And we see a lot of that, like them struggling to keep it going and all these different issues and challenges. It'll be interesting to see where they go with it, and if Krakoa in the X-Men world has an ultimate like just blow up and destruction, and things kind of go back to the mutants being spread out in different places, or how long this goes on, because it's kind of a ticking time bomb. And also now Hickman's not on it. The writer Jonathan Hickman is not writing X-Men, so where they go with this, I don't know. What his plans were versus what they're going to do, I don't know what that looks like. So, but I read Immortal X-Men. I was not offended by them calling Jesus a mutant or anything. I mean, I think it's like presidents and religious figures sometimes get pulled into comics. They want to say Jesus was mutant. I guess that makes sense in their mutant comic world or whatever. But yeah, so who knows? One thing I did get to read so far from this week was the conclusion of Devil's Reign. Devil's Reign kind of finally comes to a nice pink conclusion here in 6 of 6. And I'm kind of disappointed. I mean, I don't know. It just kind of, this event sort of felt kind of lackluster. I'm not big into events anyway. I have enjoyed Zdarsky's run on Daredevil, but I felt like this was a weird kind of stutter step in the process. And also, I mean, and it wasn't meant to be the end, but it kind of feels like it because they concluded the volume of Daredevil, but they're gonna restart it with the same writer and artist like in a month or so, which is dumb. It makes no sense. I'm tired of issue ones coming out, and I'm tired of having to restart a volume. Like I want to have like 1 through 100 and whatever, 200, like I want to, I want these stories to keep going. And so, some of these characters shouldn't have 6 volumes, 7 volumes. I mean, some of them maybe should because they're so old, they've been around so long. But I mean, I don't know. Part of me sees the idea of if every time a creative team, like let them do a full, 36 issues or, something and call that their volume. I can see that, I can see that as being a legitimate possibility, something that, we could do. But it does get frustrating, like always there being an issue 1 and, over and over again. And especially in this case where it's the same creative team, it's like you literally didn't even let them finish what they were doing. You're just putting out another issue 1 to try to bump up sales. Like I don't know. Like I'm not paying $5.99 for this book. It better be $4.99 or $3.99. You know what I mean? It better be normal price. But anyways, yeah. So I did read it. I thought it'll be interesting to see what happens now with Matt. Now that he's kind of in a pickle where he can't go back to his old life. I don't want to ruin too much if you haven't read it, but he's in an interesting situation, to say the least. So, yeah, so that's going on. And then, see what else I want to talk about. Oh, man, I made a post on Twitter about this, but Detective Comics, The Shadow of the Bat, the 12-part storyline that's been going on with Batman kind of out of Gotham. And basically it's revolved around the Arkham Tower, where they're trying to Arkham Asylum got blown up, a bunch of people killed, and then they went to redo the tower in the center of downtown Gotham as this big tower and a treatment center. And then so basically it was this whole scheme by a fake doctor kind of faking his identity and using Psycho Pirate, which is great, to control all the inmates. And he's like drinking Red Bulls around the clock to try to keep these inmates sedated and happy. And, and then it all falls apart and the Bat team's trying to I kind of wish that this was... it would have been cool to see this as something that kind of carried on in continuity for a bit, maybe have some scheming and things, kind of going on behind the scenes that Batman wasn't sure of, or the Bat family, and then kind of have it implode down the road, maybe even make that an event. I don't know. But still, it was a good story, Shadows of the Bat. But I tell you what, in Detective Comics, the backstory that they've had in these issues about the House of Gotham, oh man, it was the most enjoyable part for me. Like I really enjoyed reading this backstory that kind of goes through Batman's continuity and starts in his early years with this boy who keeps, the Joker kills his family, and then he's, brought over here, and then Jonathan Crane kind of uses him, and then like Robin, one Robin gets him and tries to help him, and then Jason Todd as Robin kind of screws him over, and he goes through no man's land. He goes through all these things that happen in Batman's continuity, and then it's just sad. And oh my god, the ending was such a kick in the gut. Just like, oh man, it was beautiful. It was it was poetic, and it was tragic, and it was awful, and I hated the ending, but I can't deny that that was really well done. It was a good story. If you didn't read it, maybe find a way to. It was good. It was sad, but best backstory I've read in a while. Called House of Gotham. It was in the back of the Shadows of the Bat storyline running through Detective Comics. Yeah, so I just had to make mention of that. So sorry, I had a bunch of comic talk that's just been stuck inside me, brewing inside me, that I wanted to touch on a little bit here. And that's last thing, yeah, is I did actually get to see finally Moon Knight, the first episode. I haven't watched the second. I know the second one's out, but I haven't watched it yet. But it was actually cool. It was actually good. It was different, had a different feel. I thought it was well executed. I don't know who directed it or wrote it, but I thought I'm not very well read in Moon Knight, but I know that he's like schizophrenic. I know he has these different personas and stuff, and I thought it was cool. I thought it was really cool. I thought it was kind of nice. It felt a little good to have it kind of the situation to be sort of a mystery and not just a straight origin story. So I don't know if everybody else has seen Moon Knight, but yeah. So the first issue, like I watched it with my wife, and she's like, "This is trippy," and I was like, "Yeah, this is bizarre but kind of cool," because the main character is confused. And so it's a confusing sort of episode, but well done. The mystery kind of unfolds, and at the end, you kind of see him, become Moon Knight, and I'm interested to see more. So I'll definitely check it out, see if I still like it as it goes forward, and that is happening now. So thank you to everybody who dropped in, and I hope that you guys have an awesome weekend. In Fort Worth, where I'm at, there's actually a Comic Con at a brewery. Yeah, there's I'll tell you guys about this. It's kind of cool. I'm gonna try to make it out because it's I found out about it on Facebook, but it's called Wild Acre Brewing Company, I think. Let me see if I can find this. Where is this event? Where's my events? Yeah, Wild Acre Comic Con. So get this. We are throwing a Comic Con here at the brewery Saturday, April 9th. Comic books, trading cards, anime, retro toys, and more. We will also be tapping 2 exclusive beers. You're My Kryptonite Pale Ale Sour, and we're bringing back Melted Spidey Face Popsicle Sour. So that sounds fun. That's pretty cool. So I like beer. I like comic books. What could go wrong, right? So yeah, so if I can, I am definitely getting over to this thing. I wanted to pick up those beers to try with my buddy who's he's moving here to Texas from California as well, so he's going to be coming in Sunday. So yeah, so hopefully I'll have some good fun shenanigans to talk about on Monday. But God bless everybody. I hope you have an awesome weekend. I hope you get outside and the weather's nice where you're at.